We practiced yesterday, right? Do you guys remember?
In that part, try to focus on.
Okay, guys. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna practicing what we did yesterday, right? Yesterday we did the writing for an academic discussion, which is the second writing task in the TOEFL test, right? We said that in the TOEFL we have two different writing questions. The first one is what's called the integrated question, and the second writing task is the one that we did yesterday. So you guys must remember what we did. We were working on this example right here, which was about economic growth um, versus the environment, right? We said the question was what you would prioritize. And we also saw the template of how to create a post. Remember that for this task, what you have to do is, first of all, read what you have on your screen, and you will have the instructions first, a short introduction coming from your professor, a question raised by the professor, and two responses from two of your classmates. In this case, we had Susan's and Alex's responses, and both of them will always have differing opinions with that, right? So Susan, in this case, was in favor of prioritizing the environment, and Alex was in favor of prioritizing economic growth. And this is what we did. This is what you guys have to do. We said that we need 7 different elements in your post. We first need your introduction, where you're going to state which student you agree with. In this case, we said, I don't know which one. This is the one we did, right? We said that we agreed with Susan's opinion. So that was our student A. Then you needed to summarize that student's main reason, main point. So you say, besides the fact that, and then you summarize her main idea. So we only have one planet. And then you need to add your own reason, right? Add your own contribution. So we said that if we don't start making the environment our first priority, we won't have a home anymore. This was our personal reason. And then what you needed to do in the fourth point was mention the other student's point. So you say, Alex has a good point when he says that, and then you mention his point. And you need to challenge that point, right? Challenge it in a way. Then you need your examples, your details. So you need to continue elaborating on your idea. And finally, you needed your conclusion where you directly answer the question. That is what we did yesterday, right? Do you guys remember? Do you guys have any questions before we start today's practice? No questions? Everything is clear? Okay, guys, perfect. Then here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna send you guys a link, and I want you all to open this link first. Okay, please open the link that I have just sent. Everybody needs Are you all done? Have you all opened the link? And go to create a copy, crear una copia, and create your own copy, please. So create your own copy of this document. Create a copy that you can edit, because this one here you can't. Okay, guys, so please everybody create a copy of this document. Everyone, please create a copy. Yes, have you all created a copy? Can anybody please answer? Give me some feedback. Hello, are you guys there? Can you hear me?
Yes, miss.
Okay, thank you. Please, I don't know, since your cameras are off, I really don't know if you're like there, or if you're paying attention or hearing, or if you can hear me. So please, if you could answer when I'm trying to know anything. So now that you guys are done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be working on this question here. The instructions say, your professor is teaching a class on social studies. Write a post responding to the professor's question. In your response, you should A, express and support your personal opinion, and B, make a contribution to the discussion in your own words. An effective response will contain at least 100 words. So you already know how this works. On the first part, you have the professor's post, where you have a short introduction first, and where you finally have the question. Then you will have two of your classmates' responses. In this case, we have Sarah's and Mark's response. And both of them are presenting their own opinions on their posts. So you need to read their posts. And finally, your job is to write your own post, your own response to this question, where you do what they ask. That means where you express and support your opinion, and where you contribute to the discussion. Okay, guys? I have left the elements and the template here in case you guys want to see it, want to use it. Please, you can go ahead and use this. Obviously, you are supposed to memorize it. You won't be able to take anything with you, but for now, it's fine if you use the template, if you see it. You should know what to do already. We've done this yesterday. Please do your response in your own document, and then you will send it to me through this Zoom chat, okay? So you won't really have to do anything but send or copy and paste your response right here. Okay, guys? You will have 10 minutes to do this. Do you have any questions? Is everything clear? Do you know what you guys have to do? Everything's clear there?
Yes, miss.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So then you can start now. You will have 10 to 15 minutes to finish your response. Let me know if you have questions. I'll be right here. You can just talk to me. Okay, guys, your time's up. Please, you can copy and paste your responses here in the Zoom chat and send them to me. All right.
Sorry, where we have to send it?
Just copy your response and you can paste it here in the Zoom chat and send it to me here, to the group chat.
Ah, okay.
Okay, great. So I already got one response from Pamela. Let's see it. Okay. So first we have the introduction where Pamela is going to tell us which student she agrees with. So she says, I completely support Sarah's opinion. Great. So Sarah, if I remember correctly, she says that social media has caused more harm than good, right? So she says that it has more disadvantages than advantages. Now, she needs to summarize Sarah's main reason. So she says, besides the fact that social media has caused huge harm. Okay, good. So Pamela and everybody, one tip that I can give you guys here, for this second sentence, where you have to, if we look at the structure, you have to summarize student A's main point. So when I say point, what you guys need to do is summarize her or his reason instead of his or her opinion. Okay? The opinion is the way that this person or this student is answering the question. The question is that social media causes more harm than good. So Sarah's opinion is that social media has caused more harm than good. And Mark's opinion is that social media has mostly improved society. So he is in favor of social media. Right? He says that it has more advantages than disadvantages. So those are their opinions. But what you guys need to do here in this second part is talk about your student's reason, not opinion. So in this case, you need to ask yourself why. So yes, Sarah says that social media has caused more harm than good, but you need to look for the idea of why. So in this case, her main reason, her main point would be that some people are suffering from mental health problems, right, because of social media. That is her main reason. That is her main argument. So that is what you have to include in this second sentence here. You would have to say, besides the fact that social media has caused or has made many people suffer from mental diseases, let's say. So that's what you have to do in this second part, okay? Don't include her opinion because this is her opinion, right? That social media has caused more harm, huge harm. But talk about her reason. Why has social media caused harm? Because it has made people suffer from these mental disorders, let's say. Okay, so that will be one thing. Second thing, careful with the punctuation. In this part, you don't need a period. What you have to use is a comma. So use a comma, and then you need to talk at your own reason, right? So let's see, it says, besides the fact that social media has caused huge harm, it is widely known that it is really common that fake information is shared in social media. Perfect. I love this. I love this reason, Pamela, because it's different than what was mentioned before. It's not related, it's new, and it is very well expressed and well summarized. The only thing would be this first part, but this is great. So it is widely known that it's really common. Maybe here, the grammar part, it is widely known that it's really common that fake information to be shared in social media, right? That would be a better way of saying it. It is really common for fake information to be shared on social media. Prepositions, when you talk about technology, you use on. You're on your phone, you're on social media, you're on Instagram, always on. Now, the next thing that you guys needed to do was choose a point from the other students and summarize it, right? So here we have, Mark has a good point when he says that social media has improved society and given a voice to a lot of people. I love this. One thing that I could tell you is don't include this part, because social media has improved society, again, is Mark's opinion, not Mark's reason. So don't talk about his opinion here, only talk about his reason. So I would say Mark has a good point when he says that social media has given a voice to a lot of people, only that. And then you say, however, and you need to challenge it, right? So however, it is important to know that not everybody shares relevant information. I love this because first of all, it's new, it's original, and second, it is related to what Mark said. You're very well contrasting to what he said. So however, it's important to know that not everybody shares relevant information. There are a lot of sites and articles that are just fake news and people get confused easily. Great. I love this. The only thing that I would be careful with is punctuation. We're gonna see punctuation tomorrow, so don't worry about this. I'm gonna explain how punctuation works in very broad terms. But in this case, you would need a semicolon here, and you would need a comma in here. But we'll talk about punctuation tomorrow. And then you need to elaborate on your idea. So, for example, phishing nowadays is really common, and it makes innocent people share their secret users and passwords in order to commit fraud. Great. And it makes perfect. Just punctuation, but I like, okay, one thing that I would say in terms of content is that when you elaborate on your idea, in this example, you need to like illustrate what you said before. Your main point is that there's a lot of fake news, fake information on social media, right? You said that here. So your example and your details need to be related to that. This is a different idea. What you're talking about here is related to safety, right? Security. But your point is not about security. Your point is on fake news and fake information. So what you would have to do here is include an example that shows that social media has a lot of fake information. So you could say, for example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a lot of fake information going around surrounding the use of masks, or maybe alarming people on the origin of the pandemic or the virus, maybe, right? You could say some people were saying on social media that this was created by the government, for example. So you could do something like that, where you give an example of fake information shared through social media, right? Because your example and your details need to be related to what you said before. So That's one other thing that I would say in terms of content. And then we have, that's why I feel that social media causes more than good in our life. Okay, this is good, but I think it's maybe wrongly phrased. That's why I feel that social media causes more harm than good in our life. Perfect. So in your conclusion, you guys needed to directly answer the question. The question is, do you think that social media causes more harm than good? And you're saying, yes, I do think that social media causes more harm than good. So perfect. So the only things that I would say, Pamela, careful here in this part, make sure that you're not mentioning the students' opinions here, and also in this other part that we talked about Mark, and also careful that, and make sure that your example and your details are related to your previous arguments. Okay, those are the only two comments I would make, but overall it was a great response, Pamela. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Do you have any questions so far? You guys, great. Then let's see, this is Louis' response, sorry. Let's eliminate, okay, let's leave it there. So Louis says, I completely support Mark's opinion. Good, we have different opinions. So Mark says that social media has mostly improved society. Great introduction. Now, besides the fact that it caused real harm with people spend a lot of time on social media, okay, so careful here, Luis. What you have to do, student A is the student that you agree with. The student that you agree with here is Mark. So what you have to do in this first part is summarize Mark's reason. So Mark didn't say anything about this, right? Mark actually had a different opinion. Mark said that that social media is a good thing. So this is Susan's opinion. So you're getting confused. You're talking about Susan here where you should have talked about Mark. What you needed to say was, besides the fact that, and then you need to look for Mark's reason, besides the fact that social media has given a voice to many people, and then you need to add your own reason, right? You say it is widely known that it's positive change to stay connected with everybody like family and friends. Okay, this is your reason. This is good. Only this, right? In this part here, you should talk about Mark's reason. So you need to mention something that Mark said, not that Susan said. So besides the fact that social media has given people a voice, it is also widely known that it's a positive change to stay connected with everybody, such as family and friends. Great. So careful with this. Now, the second thing, it says, Mark has a good point when she says that. Okay. I think you're getting confused between student A and student B. Again, student A is the one you agree with, in this case, in your case, Mark, and student B is the other one. So in this case, you needed to talk about the other student. That means you needed to talk about Sarah, right? You needed to say, Sarah has a good point when she says that, and here you need to mention something that Sarah said. So Sarah has a good point when she says that in some cases it has caused mental disorders in people. And then you need to challenge that point and say, however, sin embargo, it's important to know that it has also helped other people mentally, maybe. Or it is important to know that it has also had, let's say, positive effects, and you can continue talking about your idea here, right? It is a very good tool as it makes everything easier. For example, okay, you're missing your example here, your details, and then you have, that's why I feel that social media is a useful tool, but you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Okay, good. And so it's not bad, but I think you got confused between the two students, right? That's the only thing I would say. But everything else is fine. Just make sure that you remember student A is the one you agree with, student B the one you don't agree with. And you have to summarize the reasons. In this second part, what you have to do is summarize the other student's reason, the one that you don't agree with, and then contrast that, challenge that point. So you have to say something like, yes, it's true that, let's say, it's true that social media has made some people suffer from mental diseases, but, and then you need to mention something good about social media, right? The way you did, but just, you were just missing this part here. So that's what I would say, and also work on your time management because you're missing the examples and details, but it's not bad. What do you guys think? Do you have any questions, any comments, any other suggestions, tips? No? Guys, so let's see, this is Maria Rene's response. So she says, I completely support Sarah's opinion, great. Besides the fact that social media aren't good and cause more harm to people, okay, this is a student's 8 point, but what you're including here, this is kind of the same as Pamela. You're mentioning Sarah's opinion instead of Sarah's reason, right? So you need to say, besides the fact that social media has caused mental, I don't know, problems, mental health problems in many people, it is well known that if we spend a long, if we spend a lot of time on social media, we can lose time because if you don't self-control, you can become addicted. Okay, I like this. Maybe the phrasing, you could say, it is widely known that first of all, careful with your pronouns, right? You're mixing pronouns. You're saying we spend a lot of time, you can lose time. So if, and you have two conditionals, maybe I would try to talk about people in general. I would say it is widely known that many people, especially teenagers, waste a lot of time on social media and even become addicted to it, right? Maybe that would be another way of phrasing this. Not bad, just punctuation rules. We're gonna see this tomorrow. Just punctuation and maybe the phrasing, but the idea is fine. I like that it's different. It's something different. You're talking about wasting time and becoming addicted. Maybe addiction is something that was already mentioned somehow by Sarah, right? Because she talks about mental health problems. And I don't know if addiction like fits in that category, but I think it's similar. So maybe I wouldn't mention addiction. I would just say that many people waste a lot of time on social media. So it's like a loss of productivity, perhaps. But I wouldn't probably mention this. So careful there. Careful in this part as well. As we said, you need to talk about her reason, not her opinion. Then you have Mark has a good point when he says that social media helps people or helps to stay connected with your family, okay, and friends. Yeah, fine. Mark has a good point when he says that social media helps to stay connected with your family and friends. Great, this is what Mark said, perfect. So in this case, you did it perfectly well. You're not mentioning Mark's opinion, but you're mentioning his reason, which is exactly what you have to do. So this sentence is great. And then you say, don't forget period. However, it's important to note that social media has become an addiction for or addictive for many people, comma, and it is also causing harm with cyberbullying, right? And dangers regarding our information. Okay, I like this, Maria Renee. To be honest, I like it. However, you're mentioning three different reasons. We're talking about addictions, you're talking about cyberbullying, which is, I don't know, just cyberbullying, right? Like safety probably. But I think it's also related to, I don't know. But I like this point. And dangers regarding our information. Maybe one thing I would is try not to include more than 2 different reasons. And this goes for everyone. Try not to talk about more than 2 reasons. 2 is okay, but 3, I think it's too much. It's too difficult to keep the focus and to understand better. And then you say, for example, knowing people who cyberbully on social media causes great depression and causes many to feel depressed, causing them serious emotional damage. Okay, good. For example, suffering from cyberbullying on social media can make many to feel depressed. Maybe I wouldn't repeat these 2 ideas because they are the same. So careful not to be redundant. Causing them serious emotional damage. Yeah, good. But I wouldn't repeat cause too much. Now, again, one thing that I could say here is this is something that Sarah already mentioned. So I wouldn't go with this. I would focus on something else. Like you were mentioning, right? Maybe addictions or maybe wasting time. You could say, for example, personally, I spend about 4 hours scrolling TikToks, maybe you could mention that. And this is time that I used to use in more productive things when I didn't have social media, for example. So you need to try to elaborate on your own ideas, not on Sarah's ideas. Okay, so try to make something different and try to focus on only 1 or 2 ideas. So maybe wasting time could be one of them, and addiction could be another one, but I wouldn't include the others. And I wouldn't talk about depression because it's something that Sarah already mentioned. And then you have, that's why I feel that social media aren't good if you use them with caution. Here you need to try to directly answer the question. What you're saying here is kind of contradictory because you're saying social media. I think what you meant is that social media is good if you use it with caution, right? But again, you are supporting Sarah's opinion. So you would have to say, that's why I feel that social media has or is very damaging for people or for society. Because your point of view, your opinion is that social media is not good. Careful with the grammar as well. Social media is singular. So it will have to be is or either. Okay, so those will be some comments that I could make on your response, Maria Renee. I don't know if you guys have any questions now. Is it all clear?
Yes, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, of course. And here we have, I completely support Mark's opinion. Nice, this is Alejandro's response. So, I completely support Mark's opinion, okay? So we are in favor of social media. I think that social media is beneficial in society. I like this. Okay, yeah, it's good because it's something extra. So you have your own sort of introduction, it's perfect. Now, besides the fact that Sarah says that social media networks are harmful, well, careful here. First of all, you don't have to talk about Sarah in this part. You have to talk about Mark's reason. And Mark's reason was that it has given a voice to people, right? And it has also made it easy for everyone to stay connected. So you needed to mention one of those 2 ideas. You needed to say, I completely support Mark's opinion. I think social media is beneficial. Besides the fact that it helps everybody to stay connected, or besides the fact that it has given a voice to so many people, and then you have to add your own reason, right? It is widely known that social networks are very good and beneficial for communication and for finding any type of information. Great. For your own reason, first of all, I would just focus on 1, not 2. And second, I wouldn't mention communication because Mark already mentioned this. So I would focus on the other one, finding information. So rephrase this. Besides the fact that social media helps everybody stay connected, it is also widely known that it's beneficial for finding any type of information or from acquiring information. Now, here you have Mark talks about the benefits of social media and has a good point when he says that social media gives a voice to people that society used to ignore. Okay, in this part, careful. You don't have to talk about Mark, you have to talk about Sarah, the student that you don't agree with. What you guys have to do, I'm going to say it in Spanish. Lo que tienen que hacer aquí en esta parte, porque creo que está un poco confuso para la mayoría, es tomar un punto que mencione el estudiante con el que no están de acuerdo y decir, bueno, sí es verdad que esto es cierto, pero sin embargo, y luego contrarrestar ese punto. Eso es lo que tienen que hacer acá. Entonces, por ejemplo, en este caso, si están de acuerdo con Mark y piensan que las redes sociales son beneficiosas, entonces en esta parte de acá tendrían que hablar de Sara y tomar un punto que Sara mencione. Por ejemplo, podrían decir, Sara sí tiene un buen punto cuando dice que en algunas ocasiones ha causado problemas mentales en ciertas personas. Luego ustedes tienen que decir, pero sin embargo, a pesar de eso, y contrarrestar. ¿Cómo se, you have to challenge that point, right? You have to somehow object. Tienen que objetarlo, tienen que argumentar ese punto. Tienen que decir, sin embargo, también ha ayudado a mucha gente en estos otros aspectos, ¿no? Eso es lo que se hace en esta parte. Entonces, para resumir, primero su opinión, ¿no? Su introducción. Estoy de acuerdo con Sara, por ejemplo, estoy de acuerdo con Mark. Luego resumen una de las ideas que el estudiante con el que están de acuerdo dice. Entonces, además de lo que Sara dice o con lo que Mark dice, que ayuda a la gente a estar conectada, también es verdad que, y luego añaden su propio punto, ¿no? También ayuda a encontrar información. Y luego lo contrarrestan con lo que dice el otro, ¿no? Sara dice que sí, que ha causado daño mental en algunas personas, pero también las ha ayudado en estas otras áreas, ¿no? Y luego continúan elaborando sus opiniones, sus ideas. So careful there. Okay, guys, I think all of you are having problems in this part, most of you. Careful. You need to elaborate then. For example, if I have relatives who live abroad, I can easily communicate through social networks. Perfect. Your elaboration is great because it focuses on what you said before. That's why I feel that it's very beneficial today and you feel closer to your relatives through social networks. Great, I like this, but what you're saying here, your example, is something that Mark already said, right? Esto es algo que Mark ya dijo. La idea de comunicación ya fue mencionada por Mark. Entonces tienes que enfocarte en la otra, de encontrar información que no ha sido mencionada por ninguno. So those will be some comments. Okay, guys? What do you think now? Do you have any questions? Do you have any comments? What do you think? Is everything clear now?
Yes, miss.
Guys, great, awesome. So don't worry about this. We are gonna continue practicing. Tomorrow we're actually gonna practice one more time. So don't worry if it's not perfect yet, if it's not mastered yet, we'll practice again tomorrow. Okay, guys, but for today, please don't forget today's daily survey before you go. And I will see you all in class tomorrow.
One question. If I practice writing or speaking in the platform that you gave us, I will receive a feedback or it's just for practice?
It's just for practice.
Okay.
You don't get.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, guys. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Yes, miss.